Okay, we're getting back on our 61 here. Decided to order up some new reamers here to play with. Do our line reaming of our bushings here. So we have to come through these holes right here and line ream into these bushings over here. The problem was the cams I had, which are, these are NOS Harley cams, which means they're brand new. And one of the shafts was a couple thou undersized, or a thou and a half under, whatever the hell it was. Anyway, it was going to wind up with about 3 thou clearance if I used my existing reamers that I already own. These are these ones. And I wasn't too happy about that. So I went up onto eBay and found a couple of adjustable carbide tip ones here that should be able to be used. Nobody makes these tools, so you have to make them. Otherwise known as me. So this one here is for the cam number 2, the big one. So this is a carbide tipped here, and then it's adjustable right here. So you tighten the screw up and you can expand or contract this here a little bit. You have about a 5 to 8 thou tolerance in these. Usually goes about 1 to 2 under, and you go about 5 over is about the range without breaking things. You can probably cheat and go more, but that's about it. So carbide's very brittle, so you gotta be careful. Okay, this is the one I made before. This is what it looks like here. This is the one I use. That's how I make it. So this here was a really long one. It was about this long. I'm going to cut all this carbide off and break it off, get it off, and use this. This is non-adjustable, see, it's fixed. So this cuts whatever you're going to get, you're done. So I'm going to have to cut this one down to look like this, and then it'll be, this one will be adjustable. So that'll allow me to do the number 2 bushing, which is this one right here, the big one. So that'll work for all your Sportsters and 45 flathead motors and K model flathead motors. All the way up until, I think current. I think they're still using the same size bushings. They didn't change any of the center lines, so Harley don't like changing much. So from 1932 for sure, maybe 29, but definitely 32, up to current, same cam center lines. That means you can bolt them cam covers back and forth. They don't exactly fit, but they'll slip on. Okay, this one here is an adjustable carbide tip for this small one, which was this one. So this one here I had to make a bushing, and it looks like I'll probably have to do the same thing again for this one. And then this will turn this one into an adjustable carbide tipped reamer also. Now the disadvantage of this one is it's not very deep. It's a very shallow carbide, it's only right here. The bushings are that damn long, so here's the old one, see. Be nice if you be full length carbide, but oh well. So as long as it doesn't rub. See, that's the disadvantage, it's gonna, there's not undercut. See, it doesn't even go on there. There it goes. See, when you're cutting, you got to have room for the bit. So my guess is that's that size, so it shouldn't gall up. But it's not a cutting surface, so if you get chip in there, it can mar up the surface, which would be bad. So I don't like this one being this short, but oh well. When you buy this stuff, this is what you get. They don't make these things anymore, so gotta do what you got to do to make it work. And that's the one I actually need, is this one. This is the one I actually needed. Okay, so let's see, this should be 11/16, 685 and a half. And this is 588. So it's 100 thou undersize, so I gotta make a 100 thou sleeve. And I gotta turn this down to at least what that is. Usually I go down to a 1/2 inch drill motor, which means about 530 is about the smallest you can get for a drill motor, I think. This one I went to 500. So you have to get all spun up. This one's 505. So usually go about 5030 in most drills, as I remember. So I might cheat. Alright, so we need to make some tools. Now this one I was able to go off the center here and here, turn it between centers, so this is right on the money where I want it to be. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that. So this here goes through the cam, bushing right here. See that far? And then see it sticks out far enough to do your cam cover bushing, which is over there. So we need at least this much length to be able to go all the way. The rest of this is just clearance to get away from what you're doing so you don't run into anything. This one here, same thing, you make it long so you're good. So I need to duplicate these lengths. This one could be a little shorter, it looks like. There's no reason for it to be a lot longer than the other one. It's the same thing, it comes out from number 2. Goes out until it hits. So what I'm going to do is find how far we need to make it. Come on. There it is. It hits right there, so yeah, there's 2 inches of this here that's really not needed. Well, you know, we want to have at least an inch, so there's about an inch to an inch and a half. We can shorten this one up, won't hurt anything. That one we're fine on. So yeah, so this length here is fine. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to shoot for about the same length. So I need an overall length of probably about 4 inches, I bet. Yeah, 4 1/4 is plenty. And then it can be sawed off from there. So this one can only really need to be this long, 4 1/4 right here. Cut an inch off. We'll leave it. Doesn't really matter how long these reamers are. The longer they are, the less chance of going in sideways, because you can see the air as you come up further. So having them full length does not hurt. But I don't know if we need to be quite this long. That's a little excessive, but we'll see. So what I have to do is figure out how deep I got to go. Yeah. So we need to cut this straight down at this point to be enough undercut. See, it's about the same thing I had to do here. That way there'll be room for it to go in there. It's another short carbide one. Must be how this brand is made. These are Cleveland. This one's a Cleveland anyway. I don't know if you can read that number in there, but go search on eBay for one of those if you want. And this one here is, oh, quit moving. I can't make out what that one says. Maybe you can see it on camera. It was a warning brand. Yeah. Writing's too screwed up for me to read it. And my eyes are getting too screwed up. Oh, it's Cleveland again. So these are both Cleveland. Alright, so there you go. We're going to go ahead and make some new tools. Okay, so I'll be right back and go over the lathe. Okay, we're over at the lathe. First thing I do is figure out how we're going to do this. So I would just cut this thing off, but we do have a pilot here at the end to center with, which is always a good thing to have. which means I need to come off of this side somewhere accurately. I can't just chuck up on top of these very accurately. I can put it all the way in the chuck and come off of here, and my jaws will be about this long. And I can rough this in on this side a little bit, which I might go ahead and do. But first I'm going to get this out of here so I can see what we got to work with. Hopefully I can turn it between the centers. Get it in pretty tight. So there's our screw that's in there. It's a tapered headed screw. Big taper. Ooh, that's a fine thread. Try replacing that. Alright, so it's straight right about here, and the last ½ inch it tapers up at whatever angle that is. And that goes in here and expands it out. Now, theoretically I can put a center in here and hold its center. I can't drive it off that though, that's going to be our problem. So, I'm not sure if it's really going to help us having a center over here. Don't know. It looks like this screw is cut for a center to go in it also, so we're probably going to have to take it out. So let's grab a center. Yeah, it looks like that'll center up pretty good. Yep. So we can just center off of this. That makes it easier. Okay, it's in there a little bit. Should be enough. So I can put a center off of here, hold those centers here, and then turn it, drive it. And I can turn this down pretty consistently off of center, so it'll be concentric, which means it'll straight. That's always a good thing, because we got a lot of turning to get this down to 11/16. And then down here it needs to go down to ½ inch. Alright, so I don't know if I have a drive dog for driving this thing. Yeah, let's go digging through my junk pile down here. It'll be down in here for a dog. Alright, I'm going to hunt for a doggy. I'll be back. Okay. Here's our dead center. And it doesn't move. Solid. Live center, spin. That's a live center, it spins, see? Dead centers don't. So this goes in the chuck. You return this 60-degree angle so it's concentric to the chuck, and everything's on centers of dead nuts within an hour or so. Which is what we're after. First thing to do is we got to turn it. Yeah, I'm cleaning my lathe. Somebody's going to be happy out there. I had to so I can read it. Okay, so what we're going to do is undo the compound here. Rotate it to 30 degrees, which is 60. Tighten it back down. There we go. So, see you're at 30 degrees now. So when we cut this, we have to rotate this around so this is going flush with this surface or more. Then we can return this here and cut it right on the money. So that's what we're going to do. So like that. Rotate it. Put it over here. So we cut the back side. Tighten it. Reverse it. And go over here. Oh, you couldn't see none of that because it's out of view. Just got done readjusting everything over here. If we're lucky, we can go far enough. Oh, we're gonna make it. Alright. Okay, so now we can cut the back side. So we've got room to go. Okay. This one now controls over here. So you run the machine backwards because we're on the back side of the part. It goes around that way, hits on the cutter and cuts. Somebody like my arm laying on top of the chuck. There, it's laying on the chuck. See what happens when it's laying on the chuck? Doesn't hurt anything. Yeah, it makes my blood. It cleans the chuck when I lay my hand down. That's why you deburr your chucks, see, so they don't hurt you when you touch them, see? I think somewhere in the manual said don't do that. But I didn't read the manual. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down here like this. Go down to where it's getting clean material right there. We'll go ahead and hand cut it this way. And cut all the bad stuff away, hopefully. No, we did not. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and move the centipede out. And go back this direction. Oh, I should cut away this time, I hope. Ooh, not quite, almost all the way. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here, give it a little more. That is clean. If you're too pointed, you got to cut the corner off. Oh, I touched it again. If you dig into these, it hurts, especially if you hit these. These hurt a lot. But you can rub against this all day long. It's all machined flat and smooth and nice and even. You got to know your tools. It hurts when you dig into that, especially if you have an angle like that when it's turning. It rips your finger, tries to rip it off your hand. Not that I've ever done that before. Okay, so we need to make sure that the center here is deep enough. It doesn't bottom out on that. It looks like it's going to be close, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I'm just going to blunt this down a little bit. Should be enough, hopefully. It's out of the way. There we go. And I'll make sure this fits in here now. Appears to be not bottomed out. Goes in there where it belongs. There we go. That's our center. And we have another center on this side to hold the tail, and we'll be fine. All right. Now we're flying now. Okay. So next thing I gotta do is readjust the compound back to where I like it to be. This is not at 30 degrees. So I'm just gonna have to go back to this anyway. I'm gonna have to change it anyway. I like it over here at 45 degree. At least 40. Actually, that's way past 45. That's at 60. The other direction. There's 45 degree right there. Put this back over here where it belongs. So I can do the turning I want to do. Re-zero that. Okay, this is a dog. So this kind of tightens up on the reamer. And you have a drive pin that goes and hits the chuck jaw, and that's what drives it. That way your taper is not the driving part. This is the driving part, this lug. Very important. Now we don't want to chuck this up onto the carbide part. So we want to get over here onto the back side where it's not so critical. We still don't want to nick that up because that'll make them chew up the hole when you ream it. What we gotta do, we gotta do. Okay, there's our mock-up. Okay, I'm gonna go up here and put this in. Change out this. Put our center in here. We can either use the long skinny one or we can use the short stubby one. That's why I got two different variations. We're going to go with the short stubby one. And that was my problem. It's way too far off. I was worried about that. Okay, so now what are we going to do about this problem? There's crap in the way, is the first problem. Our pin is too short. We need a longer pin. So we need to extend this out because I'm not going to chuck on top of my carbide. Because right now that we would have to chuck right on the end of that carbide to even catch this, and that will possibly break the carbide because the carbide's brittle. It does not want to be tightened against. So we're not going to do that. So I need a longer pin material. So what are we going to use for pin material? First thing I do is figure out what size it is. I'm going to have to take this center out I just put in here and redo it. Some metric size, or is it 3/8? It appears to be 350. It's an odd size. There's no such thing as a 350 anything. 9mm is different. ST. You make it 350. Or am I reading my mic wrong? Should be 3/8. Nope. How many is that? Can you read that? Yeah. Looks like 350 to me. My eyes are getting bad, but ain't that bad. I am 2 up. That's 350. My eyes are that bad. 375. Lack of sleep or age, 1 to 2. Probably both. Okay, so we need a 3/8, something long that I can use. something like a bolt. So what we got in here, it's 3/8 long, that's like a bolt. We can use a bolt. I don't see any stock in here to use. What we got in our junk pile? Get some of this. Got this piece, but I don't think it's 3/8. I don't think it's 3/8. It's not. So here's the bolt. So I'm going to find me a bolt that's 3/8 longer than this, and we'll be back.